Welcome, everybody. How's everybody doing today? How's everybody doing on a Sunday afternoon? What's up, KK? How you doing? 83 outside. It's 84 here. It's 84. Rob on the road. How you doing today, my friend? Appreciate you stopping by. How you doing today? Hope you had a great weekend. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Hope everybody stayed out of trouble. Hope everybody got to get out and enjoy the weather this weekend. Hope everybody got to get out and about and get some fresh air anyway. Hey, Sonia, how you doing today? Sonia, did y'all bring the camper back with you from the campground, or are you picking it up Thursday before you leave? I'm not sure if they were bringing it back with them today or if they were going to go down and hook up Wednesday night. Sonia says, just getting home. Leaving from there. I got you. Watched another Michigan game, 163-10. Yeah, Dragoon game, and they didn't play nobody. Dragoon picked the last of the pole beans this morning. Well, there you go, KK. There you go. Hey, Naj, how you doing today, my friend? Hope everything's going well for you. Hope everybody had an awesome weekend. Hope everybody got to get out and enjoy the weather. I know some parts of the country, you only got a few more weekends before the cold weather hits, y'all. And that dreaded S word starts. Snow. We got Rutgers next week, who's 3-0. I hear you, Dragoon. We'll find out when they start playing Ohio State and Penn State and all them, buddy. We'll find out then. It's like Clemson Tigers. I don't think they could beat a high school team right now. They look terrible. Clemson Tigers look terrible. But anyway, I hope everybody had a great weekend. Like I say, I hope everybody was able to get out and enjoy the weather this weekend. I know it's going to start getting a little rough in some parts of the country here soon. It's going to be too cold to get out and about and do anything. But hopefully everybody was able to get out and do something. Here it is, middle of September, y'all. Actually on the downhill slide of September. We'll be shopping for a new camper over the winter. Well, there you go, Sonia. A new camper. Yeah, Michigan State looked good yesterday too, Dragoon Gaming. Michigan State looked really good yesterday. I hear you, Naj. Sonia's going to be looking for a new camper over the weekend. Over the winter. I'm sorry, not the weekend, over the winter. Y'all going to get one of the big driving kind, Sonia? That's what y'all need. One of those great old big ones that you can drive. That's what you need. Push a button and the jacks come down. It self-levels. Push another button. The satellite dish comes out. Start pushing buttons and all the rooms slide out. Yeah, that's what you need. Went to fill freshwater tank this morning. It was leaking into the bedroom. Filler neck has a crack in it. Wow. That's a problem, Sonia. I know lots of people that have had RVs. After a while, a lot of those pipes just start leaking, and it causes a mess pretty quick. It does. It makes a mess quick. Pitt lost to Western Michigan. Pittsburgh is a joke. I hear you. Yeah, that's the only bad thing about campers. once they start leaking, it's a pain in the backside. Can be a pain in the backside. I know a lot of people, when that starts happening, they take all the paneling down, all that stuff, and redo all the pipes, and then put up all new paneling. They do everything brand new when that starts happening. We can't carry water, so we have to buy some gallon jugs. Not a biggie, but I'm done having this camper fixed. I hear you. I hear you, Sonia. No, I said because they put garbage pipes. Yeah, I know a lot of people that once that start happening, they basically tear the inside out, replace all the pipes, insulation. A lot of people redo the flooring and redo the paneling. They do it all once that starts happening. At least that's what they do down here. A lot of people, I know have campers. That's what they do. Once one starts leaking, they just go in and rip it apart, redo it, and start all over again. But anyway, I think her and Jim would look nice in one of them great big old driving motorhomes. That would be pretty awesome. I can see Sonia and Jim sitting up there in the big captain's chairs, rolling down the road. That would be pretty darn neat. That would be pretty awesome. Yep, that would be pretty darn awesome. I wish I was rich. If I was rich, that's probably what I would live out of. I'd buy me one of the big, nice driving motorhomes and just travel around the United States and live out of the motorhome. If I had one of those big, nice ones, they make everything last 5 years: cars, trailers, washing machines, home appliance, TV. That's about it anymore, Nas. That's about it. Going to be raining tomorrow, KK say. Sonia says, we'll be going to the local RV show in January if they have it. Gotcha. Rob says, can you not get some Plasti-Weld to seal it? Appreciate the like and share. Arlene Verdita, you need to go back to bed. You need to go back to bed. You went to bed late. Be honest. Gotcha, Dragoon Game. But yeah, that might be something I would splurge on. Like if I won the lottery or something, I would buy me one of those big campers and travel around the United States, one of the big driving ones. That I could pull my little SUV behind of me. Rob said, that's part of my grand plan. More to the States and spend a lot of time traveling around and moto camping. There you go, Rob. That would be my ideal situation. I wouldn't want big fancy homes and all this other stuff. I'd buy me one of those big, nice driving motorhomes and just travel around the United States. If I wanted to stay 2 months somewhere, I'd stay 2 months. Just whatever I wanted to do. Sonia says, not sure, Rob. We didn't take it apart to see it. But yeah, that would be pretty awesome, I think. That'd be pretty cool. Bad part is Jim taking blame for it. and there's no way to tell it was his fault. I told him to stop blaming himself. Yeah, you're exactly right, Sonia. Can't be blaming. Jim don't need to be blaming himself. KK said, seen a wasp today. Lord, KK, if I don't see at least 20 a day, then I know something's wrong. If I don't see 20 wasps a day, I know something's wrong between the wasp and the yellow jackets. But yeah, I told y'all a long time ago, my adopted grandparents, they belonged to one of those. I told y'all before, I can't remember what it was. Coachman, whatever it was. They used to have the plaques back in the day. They actually went to South America. They flew to South America. They had motorhomes waiting on them to drive around. They flew over to Switzerland. When they landed in Switzerland, they had motorhomes sitting there waiting for them to travel. It was pretty awesome. They had a good time. The tank accidentally overfilled while he was trying to sanitize it. He thinks that's what did it. There's no telling, Sonia. There's no telling what caused it. It could have just been its time to go. It could have just been its time to break. There you go, Rob. I'd be the same way, buddy. Yep. My problem is, Rob, I've done seen the United States from the interstate. I've seen all the United States from the interstate. I'd like to be able, like you, go the back roads, get off the beaten path, and really see this country. When you're driving on the interstate, you see the same old thing from city to city to city to city. But give me the back roads, and I'd be a happy camper. Yep, I would be a happy camper. Especially if I had the lottery, or if I had won the lottery and I had all the money. You just go wherever you wanted to go, buy what you wanted to eat, stay wherever you wanted to stay. It wouldn't matter. Just do whatever you wanted to do. Thinking that maybe it put too much pressure on it, I would think, Naj. I mean, I'm not going to speak for Jim, but maybe he thought by overfilling the tank, he put a little bit too much pressure on the line, maybe. That's what he's thinking. That might be what he's thinking. I don't know. I wasn't there, and I don't want to speak for him, but just off the top of my head, that's what I would think. That's what I would think anyway. Sonia says, yes. But yeah, guys, it wasn't that bad a weekend here weather-wise. Been a little under the weather myself. Personally, I've been a little under the weather. Yesterday I had sneezing, coughing, running a fever, headache. I felt pretty bad all day yesterday, and all night last night I felt pretty bad. I felt a little better this morning, but as the day goes by, I feel a little bit worse. But yeah, I felt kind of bad yesterday, y'all. I felt kind of bad. Spent the weekend working, which is about the same as every other weekend lately. Dang, I hear you, Rob. I hear you, Rob. KK said, that's not good. If that little pressure broke the pipe, it was poor quality pipe. Yeah, it was probably ready. It was probably its time, Nosh. It was just probably its time. I mean, I don't know how old Sonia's camper is, but, after a while, stuff starts happening. It's kind of like a boat, y'all. It's kind of like a boat. fuel lines, the throttle cables, all that stuff. After a little bit, you start having problems. You just start having problems after a while. And like I say, a lot of that stuff, there's nothing you can do about it. 4 years in January. Yep. After a while, it just starts happening. You know, bouncing down the road, traveling, wintertime, summertime, wintertime, summertime. You know, stuff just starts leaking. Eventually, you know, a lot of them around the air conditioning on the roof. If you have an air conditioner on the roof of your camper, a lot of times that'll start leaking after a couple of years. Yeah, that's about right, Sonia. That's pretty much all the people I know. It's about every 2 years. After about every 2 years. Plastic fatigue. No way to tell when to go without an ultrasound. Could have been bad from day one. That's exactly right, Rob. And then the thing of it is, Rob, you know, you don't know how long that pipe had been sitting on the shelf at the place that manufactures the camper. You have no idea. You know, they might have got a deal on water pipe this month, and that water pipe's 2 years old or something. You just never know, y'all. It's kind of like a mobile home. You know, you don't know how old the pipes and stuff are that go in your mobile home. Could have been sitting in the laydown yard for 2 years. You just never know about stuff like that, y'all. You just never know. That's the other fear. Having the thing fall apart going down the road. I'm a bit nervous. Yeah, that's always in the back of your mind, Sonia. It's always in your back of your mind, you know. I would think that after a long trip pulling it, I would think that's when you might have water problems. I mean, I'm sure. I don't know. I'm not going to wish no bad luck on you. I ain't even going to talk about it no more. I'm not even going to talk about it anymore. I think it's better to build yourself. You know what you know, put in it, and how to fix it. I hear you, Naj. Exactly, Rob. That's what I was going with that, Rob. You have no idea what the materials that went into it, how old that stuff is. You know, it could have been sitting in the warehouse for years. You just never know. Like I say, same thing with mobile homes. Same thing with mobile homes. You have no idea how long that stuff, the hot water heaters and, you know, the piping and the electrical and all that, you have no idea how long it's been sitting in the warehouses before somebody gets it. We see it a lot with campers over here. Parts are significantly older than the vehicle. There you go, Rob. There you go. I told him several times to quit blaming himself. Absolutely, Sonia. Today just happened to be the day it decided to give up the ghost, as we used to say. My grandfather used to say that. When something would break, it was just its time to give up the ghost. I don't know what he meant by that, but that's what he used to say when something would break. Something would break on the tractor or something like that on the farm. And he'd say it was its time to give up the ghost. I've never heard that saying since my grandfather used to say that. So I really don't know what it means. I guess it just means if it's your time, it's your time. But I looked one time. You know what's expensive, y'all? Is renting one of the motor homes. I looked at that one time. One year we were going to go on vacation, and that's expensive, folks, to rent a motor home to go on vacation. It's expensive. Rob says, Sonia, on the flip side, now you can get a new camper with room for me. There you go, Rob. give up its SPR. I guess not just saying spirit, maybe. Yeah, you say that all the time when something breaks. It's time to give up the ghost. I'm thinking to myself, what in the world's that old man talking about? What in the world's that old man talking about? But now, I guess that's what he meant by it. I guess that was his way of trying to say stuff happens. Instead of saying the other word, I guess that was his way of saying stuff happens. What's up, Roy and Becky's Travels? How you doing? Give up his spirit like the Bible. He gave up his ghost. I got you, Naj. How you doing, Roy? How you doing today, buddy? I hope y'all are doing well. Naj says, I have not heard that in many, many years. Me neither, Naj. My granddaddy used to say that. And he's the only person I ever heard say it in my life. I never heard anybody else ever say it. But he used to say it. What you up to, Roy? Oh, I'm doing okay, buddy. I was a little under the weather yesterday and last night, but I feel a little bit better today. This darn mess going on. Every time I feel bad like that, I think, oh, Lord, here we go. But hopefully not. Hopefully not. Roy, did I see you post something about selling something? Selling a camper or something, Roy? Seemed like I might have saw a post when I was going through my phone about maybe you were selling selling a camper or something. Maybe it wasn't you, Roy, but I was thinking it was you. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure. But yeah, renting one of those motor homes to go on vacation, y'all, it's expensive. It really is. Well, it's expensive to me. Now, some people might say, oh, well, it's well worth it just to rent it and take off and hit the back roads and go camping. But for me, it was expensive. Now, I haven't looked in years, but it looked expensive to me. Now, I know a lot of times up in Western North Carolina, a lot of people that have permanent sites up there that have the pull behind campers, sometimes they'll run an ad to rent out their camper. If they're not using it, they'll rent out their camper on a permanent campsite up there for a week or two. But I'm not sure how everybody else does it around the United States. I mean, you stop and think about it. I guess that'd be pretty neat if they would allow it. If you had somewhere, like the campground at Disney World, get a permanent site there at that campground at Disney World, and if you're not there, rent the camper out. Of course, I don't know if Disney would go for that or not, but if it would, I mean, I'm sure you could make some money off that. No, went tent camping for a week. Never thought our RV was broke down. Okay, Roy, I got you. Rob says, I looked into it for a couple of weeks. Was going to run me in excess of $3,500. Wasn't even a high spec one. Yeah, Rob, like I say, it's been several years ago I looked at it. And yeah, it was expensive. Expensive to me. Yeah, they're proud of their stuff when they go to renting it. Of course, I guess they have to because of the maintenance. I mean, you never know. But looks like they would just require people to get some kind of insurance and that would cover everything in case something happened. But yeah, it's expensive. It was expensive. My friend has a trailer in the Keys and she rents it out. There you go, Naj. Yeah, people up home do that. I still have to put cost of flights on top. That's right, Rob. You're exactly right. You got to put the cost of the flight on top of it. Yep. That's kind of like I looked into it one year. I looked into riding the Amtrak. You know, Amtrak used to have the vacation packages you could get. You know, that used to have we used to call it the leaf package up through New England in the fall, so you could look at the leaves and stuff like that. And they had another one out west that went by, you know, several places out west. But the problem is you had to fly from like here to Chicago and then catch the Amtrak in Chicago to go on the vacation routes. You couldn't go over here to like Columbia, jump on the Amtrak and go to Chicago. And it was expensive. It was expensive. But I don't even know if Amtrak even offers that anymore. I think they're just about, I think Amtrak's about like the airlines now. It's just take you from point A to point B and get you there as quick as you can. But they used to offer vacation packages. Yeah, I used to look at all kinds of weird stuff to, you know, change up vacation. You know, instead of the typical get on the plane, fly there, spend a couple of weeks, get on the plane, fly back home, or jump in the car, drive straight through to try to get to wherever you're going, spend a couple of weeks and drive back. I just, you know, I always tried to come up with different ideas. That's why I was checking on the campers that one time, and I checked Amtrak a couple of times, trying to find something different to do. But I wish I would have known about those Viking cruises back in the day. I think I would. I've never wanted to go on a cruise after being on the submarines, but those Viking cruises, those really interested me. I would have thought. I wished I'd have paid attention to that years ago, because that's something I would have been interested in. But there again, you got to get your flight to Europe and then your flight back from Europe. So that's pretty expensive too. They offer sort of a holiday deal. You can book bedrooms and take a scenic route. I got you, Rob. I haven't looked in years since my youngest daughter's grown up, graduated college, and she's living on her own. I haven't looked, but back when she was younger, I used to look at all kinds of stuff to try to come up with something different that we hadn't ever done before. But yeah, of all the cruises I've seen, that Viking cruise looks to me pretty interesting. Now, any of the other ones that just like goes through the Caribbean and all that, I have no desire to waste my money on a cruise ship through the Caribbean. We went down to St. Lucia and stayed 15 days at an all-inclusive resort. We had a ball. You know, that all-inclusive resort, you can't beat it. All you can eat. You know, if you drink cold adult beverages, all the cold adult beverages you want, you know, swimming pools, they got everything. So to me, that's better than taking a cruise. But different strokes for different folks. Don't look, they're expensive. As a Brit, I know about expensive rail fare, and Amtrak are setting the bar. That's exactly right, Rob. It was expensive when I looked at it back in the day when they did offer them. It was expensive, especially if you got the sleeper car. If you added the sleeper car to it, oh, man, it's expensive. It was expensive. But like I say, if I was going to go back to the Caribbean again or anywhere down there, I would just soon go stay at one of the all-inclusive resorts as I would do the cruise ship. But now a lot of people like to take those cruise ships. I know Tony Damien talks about it all the time. And I've had a lot of people that work for me. One of the owners of my company that I work for owned the company. Him and his wife used to go on cruise ships all the time. They loved going on cruise ships. But I just, like I say, after being on submarines, I have no desire to go on a cruise ship. It just doesn't seem fun to me. But a lot of people like them. Like I say, Tony, Damien, and Sid, I think they like to do the cruise ships. The thing about the cruise ships is you have to be careful what port of departure you're going out of, because a lot of you can't just go to like Charleston, South Carolina, and go on certain cruises. They only go to certain spots for a certain amount of days, and then if they don't have what you're looking for, you have to go down to Jacksonville, Florida. So it depends upon where you want to cruise to. I guess is what port of departure that you sail out of. But anyway, like I say, I always liked just to get on the plane and fly to wherever I was going, and stay at an all-inclusive resort down there or something. I'd like to go to Europe, y'all, but I just can't afford it. I cannot afford it. Always wanted to go to Ireland. I always wanted to go to Scotland, but I just can't. I can't afford it. It's too expensive. It's too expensive. I talked to Allie Mack and I talked to Gemma Harvey and all them, and they say it's pretty expensive to come and vacation over in Scotland. But I always wanted to go there. I thought that'd be pretty neat. I would have liked to went and saw the castles and stuff like that. I would have liked to went to Austria. I would have loved to have went to Austria. But I had an aunt and uncle went many years ago, and they said that was a very expensive trip for them, was going to Austria. I thought that would have been kind of neat to go do that kind of stuff. But yeah, it takes money. It takes money to do anything anymore, y'all. That's the sad part. It takes a lot of money to go anywhere you want to go. Yeah, you really got to piece it together, Rob. I agree with you. The backpackers do it. If you can get there in Europe and you use the rail system to travel and try to stay out of the big cities and stay in the smaller towns and stuff like that, then yeah, I agree with that. Bro said you could get a cottage in Scotland for $600 a month. There you go. There you go. £600 a month for a cottage in Scotland. But I guess it's pretty much like that around the world, though, guys. As long as you stay away from the big cities and you got an itinerary laid out for you, you've done your research, and you know what small towns you want to travel to and what rail system you want to go to, I guess you could do it on the cheap. I guess you could. Austria is one of the most expensive countries in the world to visit, Switzerland being the most expensive. Yeah, what is it, Denmark or somewhere over up there, they say is getting pretty expensive. Now, where is it in South America, y'all? There's a place in South America. I don't know if it's in Argentina. Is it Argentina it's at? They have a big German community down there. A lot of Germans went there back in the 40s and the 50s. A lot of Germans settled down there. And they say they have a lot of towns in Argentina and Peru. They're up in the edge of the mountains. That's almost just like being in Austria or parts of Germany. They say that's pretty nice. But I've never really looked at going down there. Y'all, I don't know about y'all, but every time I think about, South America, I think, the problem they have with all the stuff they have going on. I don't want to talk about it on here because YouTube would probably take away my AdSense. But you know what I'm talking about. It just seems like South America would be a scary place to go to. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Seems like it would be a scary place to go to. But they say they have some beautiful places up there or down there. Germans fled there following the collapse of the group we won't name. Heavily Germanic influence. That's exactly right, Rob. That's exactly right, Rob. No, I said, yes, I agree, Hillbilly Scary. Yeah, there's so many places down there, and the crime in areas is just so bad. I just never thought about going down there, to be honest with you. I really didn't. Yeah, I agree with that, Vermont. They say they got some nice places to go visit, though. They do have some very nice places to go visit. I saw that Josh Gates on Expedition Unknown. He went to that one little German town, and dude, it's like being in a small town in Austria or parts of Germany or somewhere. It was really pretty neat. Hi. How? But yeah, I used to spend a lot of time searching the world trying to find places to take my kids to, that places that I never got to go to when I was a kid, and maybe try to find places to take them to that when they grow up they could tell their kids that, hey, my dad took me to some neat places back when I was a kid. So that's what I always tried to do anyway. I tried to do it. So hopefully they'll remember it. I know my youngest daughter will. She, out of my kids, my youngest daughter, she appreciated stuff a lot more than the other kids did. Rob says, I visited every castle and battle site in the UK. Time to find new castles. I hear you, Rob. I think that would be absolutely neat, dude. That'd be on my bucket list, Rob. If I won the lottery, that would be my bucket list. I would spend a lot of time in England, Ireland, and Scotland. I would spend a lot of time there. And when I got done with there, my next stop would be over in Austria, Germany, over in there. I think there'd be a lot of stuff to go see there too, Rob. So that would be my bucket list places if I won the lottery. I think that'd be pretty neat. Pretty darn neat to go see some of those places. Yeah, I would agree with that, Rob. I bet it is. I'd like to go to Normandy. I'd love to see Normandy. Yeah, my youngest daughter, I was able to save up the money and let her go to France for 14 days. With high school, she took French all through high school, so I was able to let her go. and she went to Paris. I've never been to France. I've been to Spain and I've been to Italy, but I've never been to France. I never really thought about it that much. But she had a ball over in France. But there again, I don't have the desire to go to the big cities. I'd like to be out in the country somewhere, if I had the money, stay at, a bed and breakfast or something at some of the wineries or something, see the wine country and stuff like that. Paris stinks. Literally, it smells terrible. Well, I can tell you right now, in Madrid, Spain, in the 1970s, you lay down in the hotel, in the bed in the hotel room at night, and the underground subway system would rattle your brains out, and you trying to sleep in the hotel. That's the problem with Madrid. I do like French fries, Vermont says. Yeah, me too. Unfortunately, I like them too much. But I never really gave France that much thought. But Great Britain, Scotland, and Ireland, that would be on my list. And like I say, probably Belgium, Austria, Germany, that would be on my bucket list if I won the lottery. Shoot, I didn't drop the link if anybody wanted to come up. I forgot all about that. Lord, I've been on here for almost 45 minutes. I didn't even drop the link. Oops, Sonia says. I lived in France for a while. I could not see the fascination with the country. They say some of the countryside's nice, Rob. I don't know. I've heard a lot of people say they didn't like the big cities and stuff like that, but they set out in the countryside. And to be honest with you, Rob, I've heard a lot of people say that about Great Britain, that they did not like the big cities, but out in the countrysides, they said they enjoyed it. But that's the way it is in the United States. I could give 2 cents for going to a big city. Yeah, I have no desire to go to the big cities like that. There's no interest in it for me. But the countryside, yeah, I could probably see doing the countryside. That would probably be better than going to the big cities. I just have no desire for the big cities at all. I don't want nothing to do with them. Vermont says, I went to the big city 2 weeks ago. Rob said, lived in the village called Ambus on the bank of the Dordogne, little rural village. That was nice. Sorry, y'all. I was checking my phone. Yeah, I would say, Rob, living out in a little rural village like that, a lot of people say that. And like I say, I've heard a lot of people say that about England. Vermont says, okay, so the big city here is the size of some of the malls in the South, but it counts. I hear you, Vermont. But yeah, like I say, guys, getting the heck out of the big cities, there's just so much to see. Now, a lot of people enjoy that. A lot of people like to go overseas and they like to go to the big cities. They like to do the shopping, and they like the hustle and bustle and the shopping and the fancy restaurants and stuff like that. See, that's just not me. I'd rather be out in the country somewhere eating fried chicken somewhere, or a hamburger or a hot dog, versus living in a big city. Hey, Travel Dreamer, how you doing? It's just not my cup of tea being in the city like that. But yeah, I guess it's already starting to get cold up in the Highlands in Scotland. I haven't seen Alimac lately. I haven't got no notifications from Alimac being live or anything, so I haven't seen him. But I would assume it's about time to start getting cold up there. I would think. England is a place of opposite. The countryside truly is beautiful. The cities, well, William Blake called them dark, satanic mills for a reason. I hear you, Rob. I hear you. Yeah, I have no desire. I mean, maybe go see Buckingham Palace and something like that. But to be honest with you, I don't have the desire to go to those big cities. I really don't. I'd rather be out in the countryside somewhere. Oh my God, Vermont. That joke right there, Vermont, is as old as you are, buddy. That joke is as old as you are, Vermont. I think I heard that joke the first time in kindergarten in the Reader's Digest. I think I was in kindergarten and that joke was in the Reader's Digest. That's what it is. He's probably got every issue of every Reader's Digest that ever was. And he pulls out the ones from the 50s and 60s and reads the jokes from there. So I like Detroit, but my goal is to go rural again. I want to sit on the porch and paint and craft. Just me and my animals. I hear you, Travel Dreamer. Yeah, me too, Naj. I don't do well in cities. I don't like them. What do you call Darth Vader when he's nervous? Yeah, I hear you. That ranks right up there with the last one you told. Panicking Skywalker. Wow. He's trying hard today, folks. He is trying hard today. You got to give him credit. He keeps trying on his becoming a comedian. He works hard on being a comedian. You got to give him credit. He spends a lot of time on it. A lot of time on it. Yeah, that's one of the problems here in the United States, though, is everything's got so commercialized around main highways and interstates. Almost all the stuff on the back roads are gone now. Like here, all the the back road mom and pop motels and stuff like that, they're gone. You drive by there now and they're just rotted out buildings. They used to be hustling and bustling places back in the day. Oh, my Lord. We've come a long way from checking in at the motel, and they give you a plastic tag that's about this long with one little key that opens the door from the outside into motel room. We've come a long way since then. A window unit, an air conditioner in the window, a window unit air conditioning, radiator heaters for heat. No bathtub. They had a drain in the bathroom floor with a shower nozzle coming out right beside the toilet. No tub, no shower, no nothing. Yeah, it did, Travel Dreamer. Exactly, Rob. Exactly, Rob. Paneling on the wall, that's right. And you turned it, you had to get up and turn the channel on your TV. No, he's not. Laugh out loud, Sonia says. Yeah, those are back in the good old days. Anybody remember Stuckey's? STUCK. Is it EYS or YS? Stuckey's. Somebody was talking about Stuckey's in here the other day. I think it was Beautiful Behold. Motel is not the place for a black light. Vermont, Vermont, Vermont. We're talking about back in the day. Yep. You're right, Rob. Expedition Greg, what's going on? How you doing, my friend? Hadn't seen you in forever. Exactly, Travel Dreamer. That's exactly right. And they had to be able to adjust the rabbit ears on top. Okay, so it was worse, but we didn't care. There you go. Yeah, they not only had to be able to read the numbers and turn the knob, they had to be able to move the rabbit ears on top of the TV. Everybody used to carry a roll of aluminum foil in their cars. Remember that? Everybody used to carry a roll of aluminum foil with them when they'd go on vacation, so they could put aluminum foil on the rabbit ears in the motel room so you could watch TV. True story. Have an ex-war air dome by me, which has a 1950s deco motel hotel that's still period correct and in business. Well, there you go. There ain't many of them left here. Yep, I was the remote control on the TV. My dad would tell me to change the channel all the time. We had one TV with a record player on the side. Yep. Moved them without tearing the aluminum foil. That's right, Travel Dreamer. But yeah, we always used to bring, we'd go on vacation when I was a kid. I always throw the roll of aluminum foil in the car just for the antennas on top, the rabbit ears on top of the TVs at the motel. Funny how motel room visit included quarter, soda, snacks, and bed vibration. I don't know what kind of motel you were staying at, dude, but I never stayed at one that had the vibrating bed, brother. I never stayed in one that had the bed vibration. Nope. I never had that that sensation of having a vibrating bed. I never had that. Nope. Never did. Did y'all ever do that too? Go grocery shopping before you go on vacation? Parents always went grocery shopping before you went on vacation because groceries was always cheaper at home than where you were going vacation to. So not only did you have all your luggage with all your clothes, you had all the grocery bags too. Carried a wine hanger to use an antenna and a car door unlocked. I hear you, travel dreamer. Never said the bed did that. You said bed vibration. You said bed vibration. We used to run a bit of copper wire my dad had borrowed from work to the window and hang the aerial out the window. Yep. Remember how stale remember how stale the chips and the candy bars used to be in the snack machines? Especially if you went somewhere where it was hot. Put your money in there and get a Reese cup out, and there ain't been no chocolate in that pack in forever. It melted the first day they put it in there, especially if you're going to Florida or somewhere. I'm alive and kicking, Expedition Greg. That's about it. I'm alive and kicking. We didn't carry the coat hanger. We just borrowed from the car. It was stuck in the antenna hole. I hear you. We would go to the same shop on every vacation, bought the same foods, etc. It was like a ritual. Yep. Hey, Tam's World. How you doing, my friend? How you doing? Uh-oh, Travel Dreamer says, learned a new joke from a kid. Why did the belt go to jail? Yeah, I hadn't seen you, Tam's World. I hope you're staying safe. Why did the belt go to jail? Travel Dreamer. For holding up a pair of pants. Travel Dreamer, you're getting as bad as Vermont. Tam's World said, I'm doing good. Just a busy life. I hear you, my friend. Yep, you're exactly right, Rob. For holding up a pair of pants. They get Travel Dreamer's getting as bad as Vermont. Travel Dreamer, you got to quit hanging around with Vermont. He's starting to rub off on you. You and Sonya both. Vermont's rubbing off on y'all bad with those dad jokes. Yeah, he's getting the best of y'all with those dad jokes. Vermont Paint said, that's a funny joke. Wow. Wow. All right, guys, hold tight. I'll be right back. Everybody hang tight. I got to take a quick couple of minute break. I'll be right back. All right, guys, here we go. So, did anybody do anything interesting the weekend, y'all? Did anybody do anything interesting this weekend? Besides Vermont, I know he got in trouble all weekend. He gets in trouble every day. Bought a folding saw and another camp stove. I hear you, Rob. Tam's World said, I worked on building a custom guitar. I don't have a musical bone in my body. Tam's World. I don't have not one musical bone in my body, and I cannot sing a lick. I can't sing, I can't dance, and I can't play musical instruments. I cannot. My mom forced me to take piano lessons for a year, and I absolutely hated it. I wasn't no good at it. On a channel, Travel Dreamer, was it Vermont Paint? Was it Vermont Paint that ate the barbecue beaver? He said it tastes like venison. Did you see that on Vermont Paint's live stream? And I slept a lot. I hear you, Tam's World. I did not get in trouble all weekend. She wasn't home. I hear you, Vermont. Well, you got a break then. You got a break then. I never had any lessons. I just play music because myself told me. I like doing it. I hear you. Yeah, I don't have no music in me at all. I think I may have an addiction to camping supplies. I'm around 10 stoves just this year. Army surplus stores are my kryptonite. I hear you, Rob. You know, Rob, I used to love to go to the Army surplus and buy the tents and the sleeping bags and the camp shovels, the folding camp shovels and stuff like that. I used to buy a lot of that stuff myself. I play only by ear, so I don't know it. I just like it. I hear you. I'm not even going to read Vermont's post he made. I'm going to ignore Vermont's post. So you got left alone all weekend long, unsupervised? You got left alone all weekend long, unsupervised? Now all the Army surplus is overseas. I hear you. I can't believe she leaves you home alone. I can't believe she leaves you home alone. Tam's World's egging it on now. I heard that once. I hear you, Tam's World. Yeah, she was not smart. Yeah, I can't believe she leaves you at home alone. Knowing that that's not a good idea. Tam's World said, I'm sorry, I can't stop laughing at the moment. I hear you. Now, if they did Army surplus tuxedos, I would have an outfit for just about every type of event. I hear you, Rob. I hear you, Rob. I can remember going to the Army surplus when I was when I was very, very little with my grandfather. And he used to let me pick out Army patches, the different patches that they always had. You know, they always had them in a case and they had different patches in there. And he'd let me pick out some of the patches I liked. And he'd always buy them for me. My grandmother would sew them on my jackets when I was a kid. She did change the combo to the safe. I'm not sure why. I hear you. Now, I said last night we drove down the Miracle Mile and to Coconut Grove to show my daughter and the boy where my husband used to take me out when we dated. And then we drove to Maiden, an old mansion. Well, there you go. There you go. Yeah, my grandfather used to take me there when I was a kid, y'all. They had all the Army patches and insignias and stuff. And he'd let me pick out some and he'd buy them for me. And then my grandmother would sew them on my blue jean jackets. I wish I had some of that old stuff now. I wish I had some of that old stuff. It might be worth something. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I just wanted a bit of cordite. Why didn't you lock it up? I hear you, Vermont. Well, at least the good thing is the big cannon's gone. At least she knows the big cannon is gone. So she don't have to worry about that now. Yeah, me too, Tam's World. I have a stump to remove. Call the man, Vermont. Call the man. We get a lot of old U.S. stuff and patches. Some of them are really beautiful. They were, Rob. They really were. And some of them, you know, back in the day, a lot of those insignias and stuff were Unit Pacific. They would come up with their own thing just for their unit on their own. That's like a lot of some of that art work and some of the carvings and stuff that they did. I forgot what they called that. What do they call that, Vermont? What do they call that? Some of that stuff that some of the soldiers and sailors used to make. I always go there for winter hats and gloves, like the wool blankets too. My Army surplus is nice. Yeah, they used to have some nice wool gloves too. I know it'd be worth something, but oh well. We never know when we get rid of it. That's right, Tams. Well, I have enough stuff to make splinters. Madonna's mansion and Sylvester Stallone mansion when they lived in Miami in the 80s and 90s. Yeah, trench art. That's it. Trench art. That's the word I was looking for. You know, some of that stuff, people buy it up. They buy it up. Scrimshaw and trench art, Rob says. Vermont says trench art. Yeah, a lot of that stuff, people pay good money for it. A lot of people pay good money for some of that stuff. I go in to buy some gas canister, come out with marine sleeping system and a bunch of other stuff. I hear you. You don't need that, Vermont. That is not what you need to play with. Nope. You do not need that. That thing's as big as a Volkswagen, Vermont. I have some old Civil War stuff. I have bullets that were melted into Mother Mary statues. They are cool. Oh, that sounds pretty cool. KK said, Vermont, did you find popcorn? They have Chips Ahoy and M&M Minis. Rob said, that'd be easy for you to get. I love the Army surplus store. I used to buy Army jackets and duffel bags, and my husband and brother bought boots there. Yep. Vermont says they don't carry it up there. It all got passed down to me from my family. I don't know what any of it really is or worth. Yeah, he don't need no shell, Rob. That's the last thing he needs is a battleship shell the size of a Volkswagen. I can see right now, Rob, Vermont walking in his garage one day and having a battleship shell delivered to his house. He wouldn't have to worry about it because Mrs. Vermont would go ballistic. Ballistic. I have a knife my grandfather made in the trenches. It's not finished. It's not sharp, and it's probably worth nothing. Try getting me to give it up. That's exactly right, Rob. That's exactly right. Why not? It would look good on my lawn sticking out. Yeah, let me know. Let me know how that works out with you with Mrs. Vermont. Let me know how that works out with you with Mrs. Vermont. Run that idea by her first, Vermont. Run that idea by Mrs. Vermont. And if she gives her permission, then I wouldn't say a word to you about it. But you got to get her permission first. You got to get her permission first. Rob says, Bruce, you said you wanted to visit me. Mrs. Vermont and that shell should solve the problem. That's exactly right, Rob. The thing of it is, though, Rob, he'd be living with you permanently. He'd be living there permanently, Rob. It wouldn't just be a visit. He'd be moving in. Yep, he'd be moving in permanently. That's exactly right, Vermont. Before I do that, I will need to say thank you all, and I will miss seeing you all. That's exactly right, Vermont. Yeah, Vermont be living with Rob. I can see Mrs. Vermont pulling in right now, seeing a gosh darn battleship shell sticking out in the front yard. Wow. That would be a video to put on YouTube. First man war shell flight across the Atlantic. That's right, Rob. That's exactly right. The funny part would be seeing Vermont trying to get over to visit with you, Rob, with a battleship shell shoved up his backside. That would be the interesting part. That redefines the whole word butt plug right there. That redefines the whole definition of butt plug. Vermont paint with a World War II battleship shell shoved up his backside from Mrs. Vermont. I hear you, Vermont. The shell would be his propulsion. You mean his trailer, right? Yeah, that gives the meaning butt plug a whole new meaning. thinking about Mrs. Vermont shoving that battleship shell up his backside. Ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. This is a very strange visual in my head right now. I hear you, Tam's World. Vermont says, so I guess the ice sailboat is out. Dude, I told you that when you first mentioned it. That's one of the craziest things you've come up with in a while, Vermont, talking about getting skis for the sailboat to go sailing on the ice. But who knows? One might like it. Yeah, he might, Tam's World. He might. They ain't no telling. They ain't no telling. Travel Dreamer said, I would enjoy meeting Mrs. Vermont. Me too, Travel Dreamer. I've been trying to get her to come up on my panel, and he will not do it. He will not do it. I want to do an interview with Mrs. Vermont. Tamsworth said, I don't judge. Me neither, Tamsworth. Sonia said, I would have liked to see that. Laugh out loud. I asked if I could put a snowmobile in the sailboat instead. I did spend a few hours in the basement. I bet you did. Spent a few hours. You slept in the basement all night. You slept in the basement all night. Don't even try it. We all know the true story. But yeah, I've been trying to get Mrs. Vermont to come up on my panel. But he won't let her come up here. I told her that in no way that could fit where she said it was going. I hear you. I want an interview with Sonia's mom, Travel Dreamer says. Yeah, if I got Mrs. Vermont up on an interview on the panel with me one night, that video would probably go viral. When she told me all the things that Vermont has done through the years. That would be a pretty good darn video right there. A pretty darn good video. Mrs. Vermont would be laying the smackdown on Dude Love. Laying the smackdown. All right, guys, I think I'm going to end this one a little bit early today. I got to cook spaghetti. Folks. I'm so glad she will not go on YouTube. The list is a bit long. That'd be a great video. Yeah, I got to make spaghetti. I made a big old salad today in the big old salad bowl. But she wants spaghetti. So I got to make spaghetti. Even though I can't eat it, I got to make it. So I'll be eating my salad. I'll be eating salad, and I got to make her spaghetti. So I will not be eating spaghetti. But anyway, guys, I appreciate everybody coming by. I truly do. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for coming by and visiting with me. We'll try our best to do this again tomorrow. Tomorrow is Monday, so we'll try this again Monday. Sonia's got 3 days at work, and then she's got her get out of jail free card she's going to use. Her and Papa Smurf are heading out. Thank you, Mia's Cake Angel. I'm getting ready to shut this one down, Mia. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate you, buddy. Glad having you here. Mia, I'm sorry. I'm getting ready to shut this one down. I got to go cook skitty. But I appreciate it, guys. And like I say, we'll try to do this again tomorrow. Everybody stay safe out there. And always remember, be good to yourself and be good to each other. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you very much.